Okay, so I see the live stream on... Oh, yeah, there it is. So now... All right, that's working. Okay, even though it didn't give me an email to indicate that. Hold on, I'm just checking. Oh, okay, that's me echoing. All right, all right. Well, all right, it seems to be working. That's good. That's good. I just don't know why I'm not getting... But I don't care. I don't care if the alert is... Yeah, all right, it's all working. Whatever. All right, never mind. It's all working. Get out of there. Okay. All right, good, good. I see it says one viewer, but I don't know how to see who the viewer is. So, hello, viewer. Sorry, I was making sure, because it didn't appear that it was streaming to everywhere, but I just went and did a live check on the web, and it's all working. So, I'm going to assume it's working. So, oh, I just have to... I already posted everywhere. I closed that. It's strange. It's weird. But I don't really care. I just need to do this. And... Give me 1 second. And I will be ready to go, because I'm not going to waste any more of your time. And there, done. Okay, let me move my keyboard over here. Now, I don't know how the chat thing is a little odd. So I'm going to watch the chat. That's where I was trying to say, and keep an eye on it, because I haven't quite figured out. I'm pretty sure there is a way to have multiple things there. I can see what's called the multi-stream chat, and that does appear to be the feed from everything, but I can only reply in Twitch, which is weird. So I don't really understand that yet. I have a feeling that's a setting I just have to figure out, but who cares? Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. And this should work. So I'm going to take a really quick drink of water. There's 105 here, or three, sorry. Perfect, that works. All right, so hopefully you are seeing this. You should be, because all this stuff is supposed to be working. Everything is in the right order. Let me make sure that my audio... Okay, I see audio is working. I see background music is there. So by all the meters and accounts and everything that I'm seeing, this should all be working. I don't know why the chat has an audio thing. I'm just going to go ahead and silence these, even though they don't seem to be doing anything, and not worry about it, because it's odd to me that the chat thing... Yeah, okay. It doesn't appear to do anything, so I'm just going to not click on anything, because I don't want to break anything. Okay. Anyway, here we are. This is where we were last time on this particular image. So what I'm going to do now is... Oh, I was explaining before I thought that things weren't working. So this week and next week, the plan will be to do streams on Monday and Thursday, because Tuesday of this week and next week, I will be recording a new double feature episode with Doug Bielmeyer. So rather than try, I mean, that wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to stream. There's no way. Our things always, each episode is always at least 2 hours. That's just how it is. And I don't think these are going to be any different. So, yeah. Because of that, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that I would not have time to stream. So for this, so we're pretty much at the... Oh, I am going to recolor these, because I realized that going with the X-Men theme, Bishop would be wearing bright... In fact, do I have that Bishop image? Oh, let me see. Let me see that Bishop image here. I know I have it on the computer here. There it is. Yeah. Bishop would be wearing bright yellow for his X thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and... I mean, I don't really even need to sample that color. It's so bright yellow. It is literally like old comics. Yeah, yo, that's it right there. I got it. So, oh, not there. So on this layer, this all has to go very bright lemony yellow, because that's what the X-Men cover would show you. In fact, I'll give it to you for a minute, so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know how it is to... Oh, you can't add a source. Oh, yes, you can. I was going to say, I might not be able to add a source midstream, but it appears I can. Well, add a new source, please. And this would be... Hold on. Hello, keyboard. Come on. Preview. Wow, it's bad spelling. Preview. All right, hold on. Let me select this. There it is. Oh, wow. Is that big? Yeah, let's go ahead and fit the screen. Okay, so this, see the yellow here? I'm sure you can see that. The yellow on his costume. That's what I'm going for. So I'll go ahead and turn that off. That will now be on. Okay, you know what? I can actually I can go ahead and get rid of that. There we go. So that's what I'm going to go for on this, the jewelry, which was silver. But if we want it to be like the comics, then it's got to be yellow. So we're going to go ahead and, since I've decided to make this like a 90s comic, the gray, unfortunately, I don't think I can do the color. I could put this in Photoshop. I could do a color overlay. But honestly, that would probably take almost as much time between doing everything and sharing and setting it up as me just doing it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it manually because why not? I don't mind. It's fun. It's fun. I really do like coloring things manually a lot of times, even though it's probably far more time efficient to do it through the... Now, let me just check here because it says one viewer, but I don't see... Okay, I'm assuming, unless this is my sister, it could be. If you are not my sister, such a silly statement to say, if you could go ahead and chat in the way... I'm just curious what the chat looks like. Because I did create a... Oh, you know what? Maybe I can... Hold on. Maybe I can just do it. Let me say... Hello again. Does it appear on the screen? Oh, yeah, there it is. Look. It worked. Wow, that's great. All right, hold on. Boy, that's really small. Hold on. I could probably... Okay. Yeah. Hey, that works. Okay, never mind. Oh, it disappears. Huh. Boy, it doesn't stay on the window very long, does it? How long of a delay does it have? Does it give you an idea of how long? Yeah, there probably is a way, but that's okay. Whatever. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure it was actually working, which it appears to be working. Okay, good. Because that way, because the thing I felt bad about with the other ones is nobody else could see it. So if I didn't read it or I, butchered it somehow, then nobody could see it. But apparently it is now working. So, okay, good. We're good. We're good. And I can see them in that multi-stream window. So as far as I can tell, this is all working. And that's good. That's all I wanted to check. That was all. Okay, does that go? Yeah, it goes over there. We do have to do a darker yellow for that background color, which we'll do. And I have to thin this out. Okay, no, that's not going to work. Let's see, how thin is this? That'll work. That's like a pencil thin type thing. All right, there we are. Oh, apparently I missed a very, very small amount of black right there. What I can tell. Yep, got it. Back to yellow, please. And here. Yeah, so currently right now in Northern California, we are under an extreme heat warning. So according to my phone, the current temperature is, well, it says 99, which means it's gone down 3 degrees. That does make some sense because the sun is just now getting lower, so it probably has gone down to 99. But tomorrow and Wednesday are going to be the real nightmares because, well, let's just look, shall we? So you can get an idea of how terrible this is. Let's see. We're looking at... Sorry, I'm not quite completely past my cold, so when I laugh, I do cough a bit. Sorry about that. 108 for the next 2 days, which is actually an improvement because they originally had said 114 for Wednesday. So 108 for 2 days. Oh, God, look at this. 108, 108, 105, 106, 107, 108, 106. This is going to be over a week of 100 plus temperatures. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, boy. Energy bill is going to be really fun this month. Well, I guess next month. This is just incredible. I mean, the Weather Channel says 110 tomorrow, 111, 108. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's going to be 100 plus for until, according to this, it's 100 or better until the 15th of July. That's 2 weeks straight of over 100-degree temperatures. And people think there's nothing going on with the planet, huh? Sorry. I don't mean to inject politics into things. That's not what I do on these streams normally, but there's points where you have to sit there and go, I'm sorry, everybody. How much more obvious do things have to get for you? That should not... Where's the white on this? Is that this? Where are the white areas? Let me see. Oh, there. Okay, there. Oh, whoa, whoa. I must have missed one. Hold on. Let's see. Is that this? It is. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Just go over that. I think we're good there. Yeah, we should be okay. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be a bad couple of weeks. And that's not saying that's even the end of it. That's just the next 2 weeks. That's only taking us into mid-July. So who knows what August is going to look like. But I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it. Because, yeah, that's terrible. Terrible. Eesh. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just dreading that it's going to be 2 weeks of this. Because like I said, I mean, luckily our air conditioner is working. And as far as I know is okay at the moment. I hope it doesn't go out. I mean, if it goes out, which it could, you know, that's the thing, is, you know, even though things are working, it doesn't, that's not a guarantee of anything. It's going to be running pretty hard. I am trying to do the supercooling thing, which I will admit worked pretty well today. So I'm planning to continue that, I guess, for the next 2 weeks. And for those who don't know what that is, basically that's where you run your AC heavily either overnight or in the early morning hours to cool the house way down. And that also avoids, and I assume most places in the U.S. are like this. I can't speak to anywhere else. A lot of the places air conditioning isn't as common. So, you know, you may not be aware of this. But in the U.S. anyway, the way many places where the energy companies are, they do what's called peak pricing, which is one of the bigger scams of the universe. But anyway, what it is they can pick certain hours, which, wouldn't you know it, happen to be the hours where most people use the most energy, and your prices go up. So it typically is around 4 to 6 p.m. Sometimes it's 4 to 10 p.m., which, again, just so happens to be when the heat would be the worst, or in the case of cold, it would be the coolest. And so, yes, of course the energy level is going to go up. It's not going up because people just feel like wasting energy. At least not most people. There are people who waste energy, of course. But, you know, that's not the majority of why that's happening. It's because that's when you need that stuff. You use more energy when you're under pressure from the weather. And instead of acknowledging that that's just how human biology works, these companies penalize you for it. And it's legal, which is Looney Tunes. Let me tell you, that is amazing to me. But then again, you know, these companies have a lot of money. So those who have all the money run everything. Oh, that yellow's looking good. I'm liking it. All right, let's go to the darker area here, and we'll go ahead and do that. But now we will bring the brightness down probably by 5. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. All right. And there we are. It doesn't have to be a big difference, just enough that you can tell it's darker. I'll play with that in a minute too, because that might not be dark enough. If it's not, we'll figure it out. Okay. And this is under those other layers, so I really don't have to worry too much about the lines, although that one is obvious, so we're going to fix that. Whoop. And we'll go back to here. So, I cannot believe it's going to be that hot for that long. I mean, I can believe it. I definitely can believe it, but not great. Let's go down a little bit further. I want it to be a little more obvious. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Okay, I gotta look up some halftone brushes too, so that I can do like the color dots that they used on comics back in the 90s a lot, that you would see everywhere. I know there are halftone brushes, I just don't have any of them. So, yep. Oh, you know what? Let me just make sure of something. I just want to make sure that the one viewer. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't leave it running in the background on my phone, because that wouldn't have been great. You know what else isn't? I gotta look for. What's this down here? Performance window. Oh, there we go. Well, okay. That doesn't really To add it to your footer. Oh, I see. You can put these little things down there. All right. Wow, CPU utilization is really high. Oh, let me close preview. That could be doing something. Because, yeah, that's high CPU utilization. 42%? Hold on, I'm just trying to make sure. And dropped frames. Okay. All right, there it is. No notifications. All right, that's good. That's good. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't make it really obvious that I can tell. But this may be a setting. It doesn't make it really obvious where it's streaming to. But I'm not going to worry about that too much because it does appear to be working. So I will have to add that. I'll do that later. Sorry, back to the actual artwork stuff. Because that's what you're here for. Not weather talk. I'm sorry, my brain is still bending around the fact that it's going to be this hot for this long. I thought this might be a temporary stretch. Like, I knew it was going to be all this week. I was aware of that. I did not realize it was going to be 2 weeks of this, which we haven't had for a while. We've had this before. I remember in Northern California, there was a stretch of 10 days. I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago where the temperatures were like this, but I don't remember. I don't even think that was 2 weeks at that point. So, man, just hope they don't end up having to do turning the power off stuff. If they start messing with that, I mean, that's going to be dangerous for people. It's just that simple. They talked about it for tomorrow for certain counties. We're not in one of them because they're worried about the fire risk. I know that, but we're not part of that. But I mean, even that, you got to be really careful doing that stuff because, you know, there are people with serious heat sensitivity. And I don't just mean they don't like the fact that it's hot, because I have that heat sensitivity, but it's not like a medical thing. Oh, you know what? I think I might have to sneeze, so give me a second. I'm going to mute here really quick. Whew. Yep. Just in time. Oh. Yeah. Like I said, I'm mostly over my cold, but now it's just remnants. I feel fine. I feel a lot better than I did, and I never felt, honestly, all that bad. You know, I could kind of feel it draining me a little bit a few days, but it was never really that bad. But the running nose and sneezing. It's like, okay, what's that other thing? Running nose and something. Sneezing. The cough was bad for a few days, but not really bad. And I really do believe the cough was because of the nose, the sinus stuff. I never had what I felt like. I've had, you know, where you're stuffing your lungs type of coughing. This was not that. I know the difference because I can actually hear. You can hear it. When you have a cold like that and you have a cough that's because there's stuff in your lungs, you can hear and feel that difference. There is a difference in the way that works. So I was kind of keeping an ear out for that. I was going to say an eye on that, but that wouldn't be accurate. I was kind of listening and just keeping a sense of how my chest sounded and everything, and it was always fine. So, and then I was actually, you know, for a day or two, I was like, oh man, I hope it ain't COVID, because I know there was a strain of that going around. And I've had to go in places where not necessarily sick people have been, although I do have a physical coming up, but I haven't gone for that yet, which I'm glad, because I wouldn't want to go in with a cold. You know, I don't like to make other people sick if I can help it, so that worked. I ended up having to move that because of our dog's rehab appointment. We went to one of those today, actually. We went to her first really official rehab appointment today, and she did fairly well. The only thing she really doesn't seem to care for, which is unusual for golden retrievers, is she's not a big fan of the water. So they have a water tank with a treadmill in it, and she wasn't the biggest fan of it. She did fine. Everything else she did good, and all this stuff is, it's looking very positive. They're not seeing any negative signs of anything, which is what I was really hoping they would say. And all of her other exercises she did well with. It's just that, yeah, she doesn't care for the water. You know, we tried when she was really young, when she was a puppy, to get her, like, with the pool, and she just never seemed... And some dogs aren't. Some dogs do not like water. Some dogs love the water, and golden retrievers typically do. But maybe we didn't try hard enough, and she was just scared of it. I don't know. But, you know, we don't have a pool, so it was never something where it was just easy to go out there with her and, you know, swim. But they said she tried to swim instead of doing the treadmill, so that's good. At least she, you know, knew how to swim. Not that she could drown in one of those tanks. They're not very deep. It would not have been a risk or anything like that. Just checking all my stuff. Okay. Oh, the CPU utilization did go down after I closed preview, so that's a good sign. Maybe the preview was doing something, because now it looks okay. We're looking okay. I have a hard time believing there's no dropped frames, although I'll take it if that's actually true. That would be fantastic if true. It's claiming there aren't any. Oh man, this is very much like the comics of its time. I like it. I like it a lot. This is empty, right? Yes. All right, so now we're going to switch back to our Hair 3, which I'm going to rename that. I don't know why it's called Hair 3. We'll just call it Hair. And we'll go back to that curl, and we'll see what we can do here as far as some of the edging here. Oh, right, that would have to be... Okay, think about this for a minute. Think about how this would work. This would have to be... Actually, you know what? It shouldn't be blue, it should be black. Is that... Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Let's make sure that's true black. It is. Yeah, this would actually be black. Oh, won't see it on that. Am I in the wrong layer? Where am I? Oh, sorry. Yes, that should be here. And let's go ahead and clear that because I screwed that up. Okay, I have it in the wrong layer. So this should be here for kind of... Why is that showing up as white there? No, it doesn't really matter. Bring that down a little bit. Yeah, see, it should be like this. Let's bring it in there. So see, that blends that edge. I'm not going to worry about the parts that are showing up white. I think it's because it's graying some of it out. I'll fix that. I'll just go in and erase that in a minute. So it's fine. It's not a problem. But we'll do some of this. And that'll just give me a nice edge there. And make it look more natural. Yep. I guess I will... let me try... Do I have another layer? Is it going to give me a... Oh, no, it did. Okay. Let me go... What was I using? Oh, man. What was I using? What was I using? I can't remember now. It'll be on it, though, so I'll find it. Wasn't that... It might have been airbrush. Probably was an airbrush. I think it was this. Was this what I was using for blending the edges? Yeah. That's it. Soften that up a little bit. See? Although, you know what? I really don't think I need it. I think I'm okay without that. Yeah, I think I'm okay without it. I don't think I need it. I kind of like that it's got that harder edge on the inside. That sort of works for me. So we're just going to stick with this. I mean, we'll do things like this just to, you know, pretty up. But I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that not having the more graded. Jeez, I can't speak. A more gradual. There's the word. The more gradual edge. I don't mind that. I don't mind that it doesn't have a gradual edge here. Yeah. So just since this is, you know, since there's apparently only one person watching, and this won't post until months from now, so it isn't really spoiling anything for anybody. The two movies that I'm going to be, the first movie we're reviewing as our part of our two-parter. The two movies are, they're both sequels, RoboCop 2 and Predator 2. Both sequels that are definitely nowhere near as good as their originals, but nonetheless, fun movies. I watched RoboCop 2 last night, and... You know, it's interesting because I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it really. I've started and stopped it a couple times, but I haven't really watched it with kind of a, I don't want to say a critical eye. That makes me sound like I think I'm a movie reviewer, which I'm not. But I haven't watched it really sort of comparing it as a sequel and as its own story in a while. I often look at RoboCop 2 and I watch it mostly for fun. I'm getting a quick drink of water here, so bear with me a minute. Hey, good sign. We're at 26 minutes and the computer hasn't restarted itself, so that's a plus. Hopefully I did. Whoa, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Why is the screen frozen? Hold on. You're not seeing... This isn't updating. What happened here? Reflector seems to have frozen. That's interesting. Oh, hold on. You're not seeing the live thing anymore. Why not? Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, that's different. Interesting. So when this locks up, I'm used to when Reflector loses its connection, I'm used to it just disappearing. But apparently in Streamlabs, it keeps the snapshot of whatever it froze on. So I didn't really realize what was happening. That's fascinating. Oh, wait, where did... jeez. Where did all my stuff go? Hold on, why did it... Oh, there it is. Sorry. I was screwing myself up. Anyway, yeah, so I finished that. I didn't realize you... I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Because I was kind of out of the side of my eye. It looked like everything was moving, but it wasn't. So, my fault. I didn't notice that that's what happened. So, that's okay. I mean, it's just a different... Now I know in this, when Reflector crashes, I have to... same process, but I have to keep an eye and make sure it's moving. Anyway, which, when I'm doing something like this isn't easy to notice, but it's okay. Now that I know what to look for, I know what to look for. So it's pretty simple. So anyway, yeah, I hadn't watched RoboCop 2. I mean, I don't know if I ever watched it really thinking about reviewing it and talking about it as in comparison to the first film, which is a science fiction, masterpiece. It's, one of the great science fiction films of all time. RoboCop is always coming up. And RoboCop 2 is interesting because it's got a very tough job right to begin with. It's a sequel to a movie that is beloved and well regarded critically and in terms of what, of people liking it. Sometimes you don't have that. Sometimes a movie is, say critically adorned, but people don't particularly care for it, or the other way around. And so it's kind of like, well, where do you go from RoboCop? Because RoboCop 1, and this will be something I'm sure we'll talk about, RoboCop 1 doesn't need a sequel. It's so perfectly crafted of what it is that you don't need a sequel. There's really no reason for a sequel. And so it's interesting. I mean, obviously, because the first one made a bunch of money and people really liked it, it was going to get a sequel. Same thing with Predator 2, really. Predator is one of those movies that is looked at as a masterpiece and one of the great action films of its time and beyond time, as just generally like a great film. And so you sit there and go, well, how do you make a sequel to this? And the two movies have a lot in common that way, where they're sequels to movies that did not need sequels and are sort of, you're mystified that they had sequels. And I like them both. I think they're fun movies. Are they anywhere near as successful or good as their predecessors? No. I mean, you can't reasonably even say that. Neither of them are. Neither Predator 2 nor RoboCop 2. I think it's more true with RoboCop 2 because... And yet, saying that, it is interesting because I think RoboCop 2 does build on some of the messaging of the first movie, and it does it a little bit more... I mean, this is astonishing. This is an astonishing statement to make. But I feel like the second RoboCop might be more cynical than the first one. And the first one has a lot of cynical kind of anti-corporate messaging in it. But I think the second one might actually be more pointed in its criticism. Now, some people might say, well, no, it's not that it's more pointed, it's just less subtle. That's not unfair. I couldn't necessarily disagree with that statement. But to some degree, sometimes with movies, you have to be a little less subtle. Sometimes the subtlety it will escape audiences. So was the second one acting out of we want to be more... I mean, there are parts of it, especially towards the end, that are... I mean, it's written by Frank Miller, a comic creator with, to say the least, some difficult viewpoints on the world. Somebody who is unquestionably, just to be completely fair about it, one of the great comic creators that's ever lived. He's made some of the foundation. I mean, The Dark Knight Returns is considered by many people rightly to be, I don't know if you'd say it's the greatest Batman story that's ever written, but it's certainly up there. It's a great film. It's a great comic that has been in parts borrowed for many Batman films. You can see its influence everywhere. On the other hand, it also is blamed by many for being one of the reasons that comics got overly obsessed with being dark and gritty and, you know, and got away from kind of the more Captain America type of way of doing superheroics, which isn't necessarily bad, but there was a period of time, if you never read comics, that you might not know this, there was a period of time, comics have gone through these different phases, where at times they were very kind of pure and, you know, positive, and superheroes were seen as the paragons of virtue and justice and everything else. And of course, that has its own set of problems because many of those superheroes looked a certain way and only represented certain types of people. So I'm not going to say that superhero comics were always the most diverse or inclusive things. And I know some people hear those words and they think there's something wrong with that. I don't, so sorry. It's just the way it is. But they also, outside of all that, got really, really harsh and dark for a while. I mean, there were comics, Alan Moore, of course, with Watchmen, probably one of the most famous examples, which his whole thing was to dissect and critique the sort of classic superhero thing by saying, well, okay, wait a minute, you know, your comics often present this glorified version of what a superhero is, but that's not being realistic. These superheroes are people, therefore they would have problems and they would be defective and they would, you know, not necessarily all be shiny Superman types where they're like, I can, you know, Boy Scout types. You know, I can do everything and I'm a good person because I wear a cape. And again, not an incorrect thing to delve into. I think there's a lot to that Moore and others explored really well. And Frank Miller, again, to be fair about it, was part of that with The Dark Knight Returns that really kind of looked at Batman in a different way than a lot of people did, a very adult, mature kind of viewpoint of what, you know, superhero comics, which were often regarded as kid stuff, and still are by some people. There are still people who think comics are just for kids, the same way that some people still think cartoons are just for kids, even though, you know, between Pixar and Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, however you're supposed to pronounce it, I'll say Ghibli, there are many, many great examples of adult or cartoons that have gone beyond, you know, that's the Disneyfication thing, is people think all cartoons are Disney things. Oh, they're all just Disney cartoons. Well, they're not. There's lots of adult cartoons. I've talked about Akira how many times? Very, very adult animated feature. I shouldn't even call it a cartoon necessarily because that's got like a negative, that word even has like a negative connotation to it, which I don't think is correct. And so, you know, and that's the same for comics. There are silly kids comics, and there always will be, and there's a place for that. That's good. Not everything has to be serious and over analytical. That's what I mean about, for a while comics got that way, where everything is like, oh, well, what if superheroes were, and that is still happening. We're actually in a period of that right now where there's a lot of this kind of, well, what if superheroes are flawed and defective? And you can have those stories, but it doesn't need to all be that. Sometimes people want to read comic books for stuff that's lighter and to kind of escape the mundane and the depressing stuff that real life presents us all the time. You know, Doesn't always have to be a dissection and a dismantling of the superheroic myth. You know, it can be, not that that's, and I shouldn't say like that's new either. That's gone on in comics for a while. There have been dark comics before, but Dark Knight Returns kicked off a kind of a long period of that stuff for a while, where everything was grim and gritty, and you know, and like I said, it's not that you can't have that stuff, but it doesn't have to be everything. There can be a little bit of variation. You can kind of have ebb and flows, and it's better when it's balanced, when there's comics that are lighter and nicer and, you know, more pure and simple, and don't force you to reckon with the morality of, you know, because as an example of what I'm talking about, you know, okay, the Avengers come into town and they fight a giant galactic enemy, and the Superman, the Man of Steel movie kind of got into this a little bit, where people were saying, well, wait a minute, Superman and Zod are destroying downtown Metropolis. How many thousands of people have they killed doing this? And yeah, when you watch that movie and you see them just throwing themselves through buildings, you know, those buildings are probably not all completely empty. I mean, that's one of my many, many problems with Man of Steel. I have many problems with Man of Steel. Chief among them, that it was clearly made by somebody who doesn't care about Superman. But that's just one of the issues. Others have covered the many other issues far better than I would or could. So, but yes, that's one of those things where there are comics that do examine that okay, what is the aftermath? Marvels. Actually, I thought Marvels, the Marvel comic called Marvels, which is from, geez, I don't want to say it's 06 or something. It's a while ago now. Alex Ross did the artwork for it. One of his first I think his first thing that really brought him to prominence in a lot of people's eyes was Marvels. And that's a good one, because that one does delve into the realities of what superheroes in the real world would be like without going too far down. It didn't get so depressing, but it did touch on, you know, okay, if Galactus came and threatened Earth, you know, what would happen? There would be mass panic. There would be people thinking that it was a hoax and all that kind of stuff. And so that comic did delve into that, but it didn't dwell. It delved, it did not dwell. It didn't just make it all about that to the point where you're just like miserable. And I think there was a period of time, or I remember there being a period of time, where everything was, oh, well, what if the superheroes weren't as flawless and nice as we thought? And again, there's stuff to do with that. Those are interesting questions to ask. Watchmen is a landmark comic because it's so well written and because it does delve into those things. But it doesn't always have to be that. It doesn't have to be totally that. And some of that, not that I think Frank Miller was necessarily aware that this was going to be a side effect of that comic. I just think it was his sensibilities. But Dark Knight Returns did kick off a period of, okay, well, everything's dark and gritty, and superheroes, you know, they don't all have clean souls, you know, like noir type stuff. And I think we're at a, you know, we've gone, and it's not like that was the only time. That has happened before. But that was, I just remember a lot of comics were almost like horror comics, even when they never had been, type of thing. And that's fine here and there, but it doesn't have to be everything. Comics can be fun too. You should be able to have not dumb, but more entertainment-focused comics. The same way that not all movies have to be serious and brooding and contemplating the larger issues of life. You can just have Michael Bay films where things blow up. That's okay too. You know, there's room for that. It's all right. You know, or whatever the equivalent would be. If you're not a fan of Michael Bay, which I'm really not. But something like that. You can have big, or George Miller. I mean, George Miller makes films I think balance. Like Fury Road, I think has some things to say, but it does it while it's blowing cars up left and right. And I think that works very well. Furiosa, same thing, which I saw over the weekend. My wife and I watched it. We both liked it quite a bit. And I hope... Oh, wait, I might have to sneeze. Hold on, I can't tell. Yeah, I do. Ooh, man, I just caught that one. Oh, I see it froze again. I caught it. There we go. I'll wait for that to come. I think that froze right after what I was talking about, so I don't think I lost it by much there. I don't think. Yeah, not by much. But now I know what to look for. Yeah, we both like Furiosa quite a bit. I hope George Miller gets to make his third Mad Max film that he's talked about. I don't know. I know Furiosa didn't make as much money as the studio wanted, but I don't think there was ever a chance it could. I think movies they're not what they used to be. So it's a shame if he can't make another one, because I would really like to. I mean, whatever. He made Fury Road. He made what a lot of people think is one of the best action films that's ever been made. So, you know, it's not like he didn't accomplish that. So that's something. Now, what is this going to look like? Oh, it went that way. Oh, because it's under. What was I thinking? Do this. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave that as a harsh line. I like that the way it is. I think it's fine. I think we're good there. Okay, where are we at? Wow, 40-something minutes. Okay, not bad. So I think the hair is kind of how I want it, but I do need to clean up these inside areas here. Yeah, that. I don't want that there. I don't like that. So we'll come in with that, and we'll just clean this up where I see it. And I don't know if this is really going to show up on the stream because this is very dark. And that's okay. But I'm just cleaning up. There are some areas here that I need to get the... You can see some of it, I'm sure. Just watching to make sure the thing didn't freeze again. So I'm just cleaning these up, just erasing these outside edges. Which is... I mean, if I miss some, it's okay. But I don't like the ghosting on the inside. Ooh, too much. See, I want to make sure I don't actually get rid of the hair part, just the inner stuff like that. Yeah, there we go. Because I just don't like the look of it. It's not what I was aiming for. I wanted to create an outer corona, not an inner, or whatever you would call those little strands. So we'll just get rid of that. And then I think we'll probably wrap up the stream tonight, which I consider successful by and large because it hasn't crashed. And even though I didn't get the alerts exactly how I expected to, it does appear the stream did go to all 3 channels, which is great. Because that way, hopefully people who are, I hope they got alerted. Although the fact that I didn't get the email alert I usually do makes me wonder if the alert went out properly. But that's one of the benefits of doing multi-channel streaming, is somebody probably got it. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't get the right emails the way I'm used to, unless Streamlabs is doing something, but I don't think so. I guess it's possible Streamlabs is using the email account that I signed up with. Could that be? I don't even think I used that email. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is not important stuff. All that matters is it worked, and hopefully people got alerted. That's the thing I want to happen. As far as me getting an email, whatever. So what? All right, let's see. The heat. The heat bothers me. Just because it's going to go on for so long. I know, I'm sorry. I don't want to complain about heat again. I'm just so astonished by it. It's like, man, I don't know what future we're heading into, but it's going to be sweltering, I think. Not great. Not so great. Alright, let's do that. And that. Yeah, so I will not be streaming tomorrow, which I'm saying tomorrow in terms of the live stream meeting Tuesday. So the next 2 Tuesdays, if you are attending live, careful there. I will not be streaming. I will do it again. It did disappear that time. Oh, well, hold on. I gotta fix. I just made an error. So let me just get this back. There we go. Wow, that time it did fully just crash out. Hold on. That'll come back in a second. There we go. And there it is. Okay, excellent, excellent. So it will be Thursday will be the next planned stream, assuming that, the heat doesn't melt me in my chair. It shouldn't. All things being equal, we'll be all right. The AC will continue to shield us from the heat dome. All right. So yeah, that will be my plan to stream. And this image is almost done, really. So I have another image that I can work on as well. So if this one doesn't make sense because it's pretty much done, which it pretty much is, then I will do something else. I have another one that I've been messing with, which I don't think I've ever done on a stream. I don't think. Okay, that's good. We head over here. I know there's some there. But either way, there will be something streamed. Something of some kind will be streamed for the folks interested. All right. And there we go. That is it for now. Let's turn this off just so we can see it without the background. Nice image of it. Oh, okay, no, I have to finish that. Gotta finish this. Can't leave this like this. Hold on a minute. That would be very sloppy. And I can't be that sloppy. No. I may redo the outlines on these rings. The blurriness is kind of bothering me, even though I know it doesn't show up. And then I do need to do almost like something in the center of these, like the red X. I gotta figure that out, because that's probably gonna have to. I'll probably have to draw in bars or something. I don't have to figure that out in this stream, but that's my plan. But otherwise, I really, really like how this is coming out. This is going better than I planned. So I am pleased with this, and that's a great place. Me saying that is a great place to go ahead and... Oh, it didn't fade in. I gotta fix that. That should have faded in. Sorry about that. Let me... Oh, does it not have a fade in option? Speed. No, speed is okay. Interesting. It doesn't seem... Huh. It has a fade out option, but not a fade in option. Oh, wait. Here it is. Blending mode would be... Or no, blending method. No. How do you do... I think there is a way to make it fit. Well, let me look at the opening one. The opening one has something there. Blending method is additive subtract. Huh. That's interesting. Just look at the properties. Now, let me properties. Let me try something. Let me turn this back off. Hold on. So we'll say, would it be blending method? Blending mode. Let's do additive. What does that do? Oh, that's what that means. No, that's not what we want. That's really weird. I wonder why. Huh. That's really strange. I thought there was a... What does performance mode mean? Oh. Sorry. I don't know what that was. There's got to be a way... There has to be a way to do that. That's really weird. Limited foam, it wouldn't be that it doesn't, because it seemed to fade out. Actually, let's try this again. I'm curious about something. So if I play the opening, doesn't this fade out? Let me look. Unless... Hold on, let's see what it does. Does it just blink off? No, it fades out. Did I have the fade as part of the... Huh. Well, you know what? Whatever. That's a minimal thing. I will figure that out. I have a feeling there's a setting I'm just missing where it will tell you... No, it's not scale filtering. Additive subtract screen. Blending mode. Method. Deinterlacing. Retro. Blend. Disable. I don't want any of that. It's just weird that there's not a way to... Visual preset. No, see, that's not what it is. It's not a filter. That's really weird. Well, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in the settings, and I'll figure those out, but that's not something I have to worry about right this second. So thank you for coming by. Like I said, I do see that there's one viewer. So thank you, one viewer, for coming by, whoever you are. I appreciate it. And everybody else who's probably going to be watching this later whenever it posts. I don't mind when you watch it. You do not have to come by live. because, oh, you know what I never did? Oh, wait. No, actually, that's fine. This is fine. I was going to say I should probably have my upper third showing even when I'm on this screen, but no, I don't think so. I think I like this screen the way it is. But anyway, thank you for coming by whenever you see this. I appreciate you looking at it at all. And now that you're done looking at this, I would say go out and experience some more creativity besides mine, either from something you're doing yourself, or go find another stream where somebody is drawing or making music. Or I saw one the other day where somebody was showing how they do editing of videos. Go watch that. That's really interesting. There's lots of stuff where, you know, people don't think about. Let me get a quick drink. My throat's just a little dry. Hold on. Discovery is a big part of doing stuff like this. Is you might never think, oh, I'd want to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And you see somebody else do it and having a great time doing it or making something, and you think, you know what, maybe I should try that. And then you try it, and you might actually really, really enjoy it and have a knack for it. Do that stuff. Go look around at different things, different knitting, whatever, anything. Go see if it's something you might be interested in. You never know. You really don't. And it's fun to find stuff like that, you know? Any type of creativity, like I've said a bunch of times, if you watch these streams before, this is my broken record thing. I'm going to say it over and over and over. You know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this before. This is what I should be putting in that thing where I'm like, oh, I have to think of something clever to say. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start moving that into there. So instead of me saying it here, I'm going to say it as part of my kind of ending thing. Because I've been saying for a while now, insert boilerplate language here until I can think of something clever to say. Well, I just thought of something. It's not even that clever, but it's something that's a good way to end things. So I'm going to move what I was just about to say a little bit out here. So anyway, thank you for coming by. Live or later, doesn't matter to me. I just appreciate you stopping by. And go experience some creativity in some way and try to experience it for yourself, because creativity is good for your mind, your body, and your soul. And until the next stream, again, thanks for coming by. And on that note,